A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel, and we're on our Hall of Fame wax series where we explore my 10 most iconic favourite paste waxes ever to be made. This week, what is it? Here we are. This is a fresh, brand new pot of Pete's 53 Black Pearl Crystal Polymer White Carnauba Paste Wax by Chemical Guys, and it's signed there, limited edition signed wax. Okay, this wax costs around £45. Now let's just take our time to enjoy this. Chemical Guys were one of the first detailing brands that were sort of like an American scene brand that broke through, and they were probably, I think, at their most popular about a decade ago, where they went fast from New Kids on the Block to quite a big brand, and then got good distribution over in America and made it over to the UK and were very popular. Why? Because I think their products were very well branded, very exotic. But I also think they were one of the first detailing companies to invest in social media and get in front of a camera and tell you how to use their products and show you this product. And, you know, here's wet butter wax. This is why wet butter wax is good. Here's our Chemical Guys Hex Logic pads. Here's why they're good. Here's how you use them. Here's our polish. Here's our V7 liquid thing. And they would bring out loads of products, market them themselves, and they grew in popularity and sold a lot of products. Then I think what happened is you got more and more people wanting to dabble and do the same thing, and suddenly Chemical Guys started getting a bad reputation for having terrible products, and some other random brand that was exactly the same was the New Kid on the Block, and Chemical Guys was suddenly out of favour. But for me, Chemical Guys are part of detailing, the detailing product history and brand history, and they have some really iconic products in their line, and we've mentioned some of them, you know, whether you like them or not, but like Jet Seal, you know, Butter Wet Wax, Hybrid V7. I've got a bottle of that in the cupboard. Maybe we'll do a video on that. That'll be a nice reminiscing video. What other? I must be missing some stuff, because they've got some really iconic products. You know, some of their shampoos are really good. Honeydew shampoo, is it Mr. Pink, is it? And some of these other shampoos, and just Glossworks range was really cool as well. Anyway, now the first thing with this wax is, we said it's 45 quid and you get about 8 ounces. I think this wax doesn't contain any instructions. It's got all the health and safety stuff. It doesn't give you any instructions. I remember this from back in the day. Let me just put this down so we can open this for the first time, which is a really cool thing. So it's all sealed up. Let's just, while you're there, let's just, hold on. Let's do it properly, or else I'm going to end up ripping the label off. So let's just perforate that there and there. So that then goes clean. No, it's still strong. Damn it. Oh, well, if anyone's still there, take 300. Sorry. Let's just run that through there. There we go. So just don't want to tear that label off in an untidy way. Here we go. It's always nice to open a wax for the first time. Oh, it's got a little seal on it. I don't remember that having that. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? So we talk about the pores. That's probably not the best pour. So what's happened there is a load of shrinkage. It was poured up to the top, where that was all sitting at the top, and then it shrunk back down. So that is a messy old wax. I'm not too fussed. This is paler than I remember it to be as well, guys. Let me just poke all that carnauba back down into that there, or else it's all going to come out in big chunks. Now, some other things you need to know about this wax. It's a wax on, wax off, which most of them in this particular Hall of Fame are not like that. I'm just going to spread that around, just to sort of level the surface down, if you like. This is a really buttery, oily wax. Even more, it breaks down even more oily than than the PS P21S or the R222 under your finger. Really oily, incredibly oily. It's a little bit shame about that pour actually, because it's going to make it really messy, and the wax is going to spin around in there, and it's going to throw all of these chunks out, and I'm going to get chunks of wax all over the applicator. So that's a little bit of a shame actually, but what will happen probably is it will settle down, but that is unusual. I've had a pot of this, and it was sort of softer around the edges, and it wasn't all cracked like that. So there might be a bit of variation in the blend. Now we will use our Zano borderless blonde buffing cloth. Sorry about the camera flying around. To buff these. Now it's a wax on, wax off, which is a really cool thing. So there's no curing time. So this wax goes straight on. It's not quite as greasy and oily as the Treple 2R, but it's still a really easy wax to spread. It is much more oily than some of the other waxes in this test. So getting this out over the panel is really, really easy. You can fly over this. You haven't got to really work it too much like some of the other waxes where you need the damp applicator and you're going along and you're making sure you've got the thing. This, you can get your film of wax over your area almost instantly. Now, this wax also contains, as we read at the start, liquid crystal polymer, which is there apparently to increase durability, which is strange because typically when you have any sort of these sort of synthetic components in there, you'd let it cure. But the fact you don't have to let this cure is just one of the really nice things. So you can just work in a little panel, and you put the wax on, and with a big soft cloth like this, it just picks all the wax up really, really easily. You can always, if in doubt, flip your towel over to the clean side and just go over the area that you've done again. So easy. Let's just do another section. Another thing about this wax is it has some really exotic carriers in it. The oils, so it uses coconut oil, which is common actually in waxes because coconut oil can be thick, almost like a wax itself. It uses banana oil, which I was always really interested in. And I think it has almond oil in it as well. Now, yes, some of these using multiple oil things is a little bit of the glamour, and it's not that important to a blend. There is no precision. Some wax makers will be killing me for saying this or disagreeing, but like you're blending these different oils together looking for some holy grail. That's part of, in my opinion, the marketing of waxes. I think it uses Montan oil as well, which is actually a really good oil. Montan oil is made from like Montan wax, or part of the same sort of thing. But that was a really clear thing. My approach with oil is you wanted something that was the most pure kind of oil, and something that ideally was volatile so that it could provide the lubrication, but as the solvent goes, the oil would go as well. So you wanted a drying oil. Problem is, most of these organic oils aren't drying oils, and the rare few types of oils that are drying oils, like for example like walnut oil or boiled linseed oil, are not good oils to to use because they're not pure enough. So most of these oils aren't they're not volatile, so they stay in there and they'll soften the overall blend up. But I mean, the spread on this is just awesome. I just love this. Can't get enough of this. It's a really, it's most similar to the Treple, the R222. It's really similar to that. What are the hydrophobics like? What are the durability like? From what I can remember with Pete's 53, there was no real groundbreaking durability with this wax. It's a show wax for me. If you do leave it on the panel longer, you will get a bit of a cure going on and you will get a bit more durability, but it just says to put it on and buff it off. And like, hopefully you can see there, it is there's something really satisfying about just that bang, bang, applied, and it does go on so nice. Pitts 53, again, was a time where I was really in love with waxes and really going through and discovering them and trying all sorts. And I knew straight away that Pitts 53 was a proper old school oily wax. But I think it's a really good wax to buff. I think it's a really good show wax. If you've used it, yeah, it's going to be if you're after the best budget show wax, it's either going to be this or Treble 2R. Treble 2. The difference is the Pitts wax will last a little bit longer, in my opinion. Is this worth £45? Well, it depends on the individual. To me, absolutely yes. And I want to try and use this one as well. I'm going to try and use this a lot on the Red Peril this summer. Try and get through some of these waxes. Just use them. You know, don't go sparingly with them. Just get them on the car. Just get them on there. And I love that. Get it on that panel. You know, get it on there and get it buffed. Boom. It's really interesting as well. Another thing with all of this, I'm going to have to tidy that wax up because it's going to bug me a little bit. All of these types of formats have got their disadvantages. And they've all got their advantages. So the waxes, the disadvantage of the waxes is obviously the application, you know, takes a bit longer and all that, but I like it. Obviously it's a bit harder work, but it's all good, it's all exercise. The disadvantage for a paste wax can be the way it attracts dust and dirt, like some of you have said. But the disadvantage can also be like the greasy kind of marks you can get when you get high sunshine on them. And those waxes in the high sunshine and the heat, the surface can be a bit greasier as the wax starts to soften that wax layer. That's the disadvantage. The advantage though, when you use spray sealants or anything like that, if you get a real fine light sometimes on the surface of a car, or you take a wet microfiber towel, like a clean wet microfiber towel, wipe over the car that's had a liquid spray sealant, ceramic detailer, liquid spray sealant, spray wax, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes you'll find like little tiger bread kind of footprints where the film of the product isn't like some perfect show winning film that you can't normally see under light. If you think I'm talking nonsense, prep your glass screen and spray some of them on there and spread them into a film and then buff them or whatever. Most times you won't see them, but when sometimes you get the glass wet and you wipe a microfiber over it in certain lights, you'll suddenly see the film. And that can be the disadvantage optically of something like a spray sealant or detail spray, which we favour. You can't often see those unless you're in a sort of like bright, strong light environment in summertime, basically. So a lot of time people just prefer spraying these spray waxes on and they look better, but they don't always. So that's interesting that you can, some of you may well have noticed that. For me, I just love the shine. I love that shine that it puts on the car. But this car is so far from perfect. It's just, the paint is awful, but I kind of like that. I kind of like it. So I can just like wax it all up. And I can already see this paint needs polishing and like it needs refining so that light that you see there is all blurry, really. I want that light to be clearer. Then that's a sign of better paint. But yeah, it's another subject, that having good paint is more of a curse than a benefit, because you get precious about the car. And if you can get into a headspace where you love your car but you're not precious about it, I think that's a better way to be. I'm coming to that conclusion. But the problem is, the nicer your car is, the more you want to keep it that way. So it's sort of like a curse. If you have a really nice car, it's a curse. And today my E36 has been hit. It's been hit. So that's what's on my mind. That's why I'm saying that. Like, it's just really, Yeah, it's not the end of the world. I'll get it fixed. It'll be sorted. But it's just, if this car got hit in the back, I wouldn't have really cared. Wouldn't have cared. I just don't worry about it. Unless it's literally smashed the back of it, like a lorry's gone into the back of it at 70 miles an hour. But a little fender bender, like a little bump, I wouldn't have cared. I'd have just probably buffed it and been all right. But that black one, the paint is so immaculate and it's damaged through the paint and bent it. I want it all done properly. It needs to be done properly. It needs a little bit of PDR work. Yeah, and it's just really sort of like, you're really precious about it. But anyway, back to this wax. Pete's 53 is a really cool show wax product. Yes, it's a real hand blend kind of thing. And yes, all of that shrinkage, that's some extreme shrinkage there. That's probably, I've never seen that before in any wax. And that's the problem with extreme, that's the problem with all that shrinkage, is then you get all that crumbs. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time tidying that wax up, so next time I go to use it, I can rub it without pulling all these big chunks out. But definitely a classic, iconic wax for me. Remember, if you like a show wax that goes on and off, but does have a little bit more durability than your average purely organic wax, not much though, don't buy this for durability. Buy it because you just love glossing up your car, wax on, wax off, shine it up, do it every week now in the summer. Use all this wax up, enjoy it, then maybe try another one. The problem is I've got 10 pots. It's going to take me years to get through all this wax, but I have fun in the process. Thanks for watching. Take care, and don't forget, we've only got one more now in this range. One more. I'm doing this behind the cameras, you can't see it. One more, and then I'm going to do my full functional tests on all these: beading, durability, price, performance, optics, gloss, all that stuff. And we'll see what's the best wax in our Hall of Fame series of all time. Should be fun. Bye for now.